Now you're armed and dangerous.
My hunting season opened on the 15th of November. Today was unusually warm with a high of +6, so I dressed lightly. Here I am packing my bag to take hunting: a red sweater, orange toque, my mitts, protein bar, my tags, and a big water bottle. On our way out to set up some bait, we stopped at the gas station to grab some drinks and snacks. This is my uncle and I walking through the bushes to get to our spot. I am carrying my gun and trigger stick while he is carrying the bait. This is bait number 1. I am spreading some grain on the hay that is already laid down. As we were walking through the bush to get to our next bait, we found a skull of a deer and my uncle called it a bush present. This is bait number 2, and I am going through the same process, spreading more grains and oats while spraying some deer attractant on top. This is bait number 3. We didn't necessarily hunt today, instead we focused on changing the trail camera batteries and restocking the baits. This is what a finished bait looks like. A deer came into our bait number 1 not even 30 minutes after we left. This deer came in later that night. Today is day number 2, and we are going to sit in the blind for an afternoon hunt. This is how we get everything we need into the bush. My uncle and I are setting up the blind. Our blind is very old, so it took us about 10 minutes to get it set up. Here is a tour of the inside of the blind when everything is set up. As you can see, there is a rope hanging down that holds the gun in place to restrict movement when a deer comes in. This is my view from where I'm sitting.
So now that we have the blind set up, I'm gonna sit here in this chair, like this, for the next couple hours until it's dark or until I shoot a deer.
This deer was captured on the trail camera in the middle of the night. Day 3 of our hunt. This is not my first time completing this land-based activity. I have been hunting since I took my hunter safety course when I was 12 years old. My family is very passionate about hunting, and I grew up making a lot of jerky and sausage, so when I turned 12, I knew I wanted to be a part of that process. Unfortunately, we did not see any deer today, but I wanted to capture this beautiful sunset as we were leaving for the night. A little spiker and a pretty nice buck came in after dark. Day 4 of hunting. I chose this land-based activity because it is something I enjoy and look forward to do every year. It also allows my family and I to make time for each other as we all have busy lives. Today we are bringing in some milled peas to add to the bait. Here is another tour of the blind all set up with our chairs. My uncle is over there in the red putting out the peas that we brought in. We saw nothing again today, but here's another view of the sunset. We captured 2 moose on the trail camera in bait number 3, and then later that night there was a pack of coyotes. Day 5 of hunting. It was a little colder today, and we thought the weather would bring the deer in. As you can see, I did not have adequate warm hunting clothing, so I had to make use of what I had. I put ski pants on underneath of my Carhartt bibs, and it was a tight squeeze. I use these for summer work, so they aren't meant for thick clothing underneath. I was struggling. A few of the challenges that we faced were the nice weather, chronic wasting disease, and the no snow. The weather, as you know, has been very warm for November, and the deer already have their winter coat, so they do not need to move around as much because it is too warm for them. Chronic wasting disease, also known as CWD, has significantly lowered the deer population. When I first started hunting, we would see thousands of deer. There was never a day you would see nothing. But this year, we are lucky if we are able to see one. Not having any snow plays a huge factor. The deer blend in with the background colors of trees and grass, and they have an unlimited amount of food, so there is no need for them to search for other places to eat. Day 6 of hunting. As you can see, I bought some new insulated bibs. I was freezing the last couple of days. I learned that hunting is not as enjoyable when you are cold, and that it is essential to have appropriate clothing. As we were walking back to the truck, I spotted this moose, and I will let you listen to my uncle's call. On day 7 of our hunt, we decided to just go for a cruise to see if there were any deer hanging around in the field. They weren't coming into our bait, so we thought we would try something new. We saw this whitetail buck, but I did not take a shot because I wanted to see what else we would see. On day 8, we went out for our first morning hunt, and of course, we saw nothing. However, on our way home, we spotted a group of mule deer. The best way to distinguish mule deer from white-tailed deer is by their big ears, white face, the way their antlers grow into forks, their white butt, and the distinctive way they run. Their running style is more of a hop, and it is called slotting. Afternoon hunt on day 9. This is us setting up the blind. My uncle bought a new blind on Black Friday from Cabela's. We were excited to try it out. It was really easy to set up. You just have to unfold it and pop it up. It takes less than a minute. I also learned this year that hunting takes a lot of patience. It isn't a typical hunting year for us. As I mentioned, we can usually find deer without any problem. This is how the blind looks from the outside. It looks like a little house. Day 10, our final hunting day. Today we went out early in the afternoon. First, we went to the original place where our blind was set up. We used a hunting speaker that has pre-recorded calls such as a buck grunt, a doe call, rattling, and a few more. We were able to successfully rattle in a mule deer buck, but we were hoping for a whitetail. We sat for a little bit longer and decided to go back to the other blind to try calling some deer. As we were sitting there, we heard a buck grunt and some rustling of the trees, but he did not come to the bait. We then decided to go sit on a hill by our third bait to try and call a deer. We did not see any deer, but we did see a porcupine. Nothing was coming to the calls, so we decided to go for a drive and spot for the last 15 minutes of legal light. As we were walking back to the truck, there was a little buck 85 yards from us. I made a quick decision to take a shot, but unfortunately I missed. My uncle said I was bang on, but a little too high. I should have aimed lower because he was so close. After I shot at the deer, I couldn't stop shaking. This is called buck fever, which is just a rush of adrenaline. While we were walking back to the truck, I spotted this shed horn on the ground. My uncle took a closer look and mentioned he had seen that same deer on his camera in previous years. This picture is from 2020, and as you can see, it matches the right side of his antlers. I took the shed horns home, and my cat seemed to enjoy them. Now you're probably wondering how we get the deer meat into our freezer. The first thing we do after shooting the deer is to remove all the guts, a process called field dressing. Next, we take it back to our garage, skin the deer, let it hang for a while, and then process and package the meat. My uncle's friend shot a white-tailed deer, so I took the opportunity to show you what it looks like. Inner tenderloins, front halves, back strap, hind quarters, processed and packaged, neck meat, front halves, hind quarters, skull cape, we then put the meat into our freezer, send the head away for chronic wasting disease testing, and make jerky and sausage when we get negative results. Here are some pictures of the animals I've hunted over the years. I am confident in teaching others about gun safety and about the species of animals. I have never field dressed or skinned a deer by myself, so I would not be confident in that area. However, I do believe if I had to do it on my own, I would be able to. I hope that this activity will stay in my family for generations to come, as it is a way to help support the family and it is a great way to bond and connect with each other. I also hope that my sister, when she turns 12, will be interested in taking her hunter safety course and will be able to come hunting with us. I would like to acknowledge and thank the farmer for letting us use their land, the deer for supplying us with food, and my uncle and grandpa for spending countless hours out in the field with me. Here is a picture of my uncle. And here is a picture of my grandpa.